So welcome to Jumbo IS and welcome to our lecture series called Daily News in Shorts. In this lecture series, we cover a particular day's current affairs in a very short span of time within 30 minutes. Now, I know what you guys must be thinking. You guys are thinking, what about current affairs from 1st February and 2nd February? The thing is that the newspapers of 1st February and 2nd February were full of news related to budget and economic survey. And we will cover budget and economic survey separately. There would be separate lecture series for budget and economic survey. Okay, so that is why I'm ignoring 1st and 2nd February's newspaper, because most of the news items were related to those two documents. Okay, all right. So we'll talk about 3rd February 2025. And needless to say, because I always say this in the beginning of every current affairs lecture, you need to revise these lectures because revision helps you remember these current affairs. Okay, and you can revise these from our notes, and the notes are available on our Telegram channel. And needless to say again, the link to our Telegram channel is provided in the comment section below this video. All right, let's begin today's discussion, but first let's take a look at today's topics. All right, so these are today's topics. Number one is new Ramsar sites for India. India has declared 4 new wetlands as Ramsar sites. So what are Ramsar sites? Basically, what is Ramsar Convention? Okay, and what are wetlands and why are they so significant? We'll talk about this. Then we'll talk about Kolleru Wetland. Again, a wetland related news, but this news is related to certain infrastructure projects that are being planned at Kolleru Wetland, which is in Andhra Pradesh. And recently, National Green Tribunal has said that these projects cannot be implemented because they are in violation of certain environmental legislations. So we'll talk about this issue. Then recently, in United States, non-opioid painkillers were in the news. A new non-opioid painkiller was discovered because painkillers are classified as opioids. Okay, and opioids, though they are painkillers, though they are used as pain medication, but they are very addictive. Okay, so in the hospital, if someone is given a painkiller, after getting discharged from the hospital, that person might get addicted to these opioids and might use them for recreational purposes. He might become a drug addict. Okay, so opioids are a big problem in USA, and now these non-opioid painkillers can really solve this problem of drug abuse. So we'll talk about this. And in the end, we'll talk about DRDO's man-portable air defense system. These are air defense missiles that can be launched by a person. Okay, so these are like good big rocket launchers that can be mounted on a person's shoulder, and he can launch this missile to destroy a low-flying drone or an aircraft. Okay, so these are man-portable air defense systems. We'll talk about them. All right, let's begin today's discussion, starting with topic number 1, which is new Ramsar sites for India. So basically, there are many wetlands in India. Now, what are wetlands? Well, these are areas, regions which are permanently covered with water. Okay, either the water is very shallow or the water is close to soil. Okay, very shallow basically. Okay, now these wetlands, India has many wetlands, clear, many wetlands, but some wetlands are considered as wetlands for wetlands of international importance. Now, those wetlands that are declared by India as wetlands of international importance are called Ramsar sites, based on Ramsar Convention. Okay. Now, India up till now had 88 wetlands of international importance. Okay. These are 88 these were those 85 wetlands of international importance. Now, for those wetlands which need to be conserved, they are very important for the environment. That's why India declared them as wetlands of international importance. Now, India has added another 4 wetlands within this list, and now the total goes to 89. So, Center has announced the addition of 4 new Ramsar sites in India, taking the tally to 89. This announcement was made by Ministry of Environment in a social media post, and it was made on 1st February. Okay, now this announcement that was made on 1st February was ahead of World Wetlands Day, which is celebrated on 2nd of February. Now, these 4 new sites are Sakarkotai Bird Sanctuary, Tertangal Bird Sanctuary in Tamil Nadu, Khichiopalri wetland in Sikkim, and Udhwa Lake in Jharkhand. So these are the four wetlands, okay, that were added to the list of Ramsar sites from India. All right. Please remember this fact that 2nd Feb every year is celebrated as World Wetlands Day. Now, let's talk about Ramsar Convention. So what is this Ramsar Convention? Okay. So Ramsar Convention is an international agreement. It was signed on 2nd Feb 1971, which is celebrated as World Wetlands Day. And the reason why it is called Ramsar Convention, because this agreement was signed in Ramsar. Ramsar is a city in Iran. Okay. Now this agreement works for preservation and responsible use of wetlands. Now what are wetlands? So wetlands are ecosystems where water covers the ground either seasonally or permanently. Now these wetlands can be natural, okay, like oases, estuaries, deltas, mangroves, coastal areas, coral reefs, or they can be artificial, man-made, like fish pond, rice paddies, lakes, reservoirs. Okay, so wetlands can be both. Now, why was there a need to conserve wetlands? Surely wetlands have a lot of importance. Okay, so what is the significance of wetlands? First of all, they are biodiversity wise rich areas. They support a lot of flora and faunal species. Okay, wetlands are home to many species of plants and animals, including threatened and endangered species. Do you know that wetlands are also known as kidneys of the environment? What do kidneys do in our body? Well, they purify our blood from various toxins, and those toxins are then released out of the urine, right? So wetlands also perform the function of water purification. If there is water pollution in a water body like a river or a stream, and if that stream goes through a wetland, well, that wetland would block all the toxins and all the pollutants, and the water that will emerge out of those wetlands would be purified. Okay, so they are very good in that. Plus, they can also be valuable in flood control. Clear? If there are wetlands, well, if there is a flood, well, these wetlands will control that flood. Do you know many urban areas are prone to flooding now? We saw massive floods in Chennai and many other cities. The reason why there is the phenomena of urban is because urban areas encroach upon these wetlands, dry them out, and construct high-rise societies over there. That is why there is shortage of wetlands in these cities and floods happen. Anyway, these wetlands are also very significant when it comes to carbon capture. They capture a lot of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, which helps in fighting climate change. Therefore, we need to protect them. Okay. Then there are a lot of economic benefits. There are many fishermen communities that depend on these wetlands, right? These wetlands, some of these wetlands are forest areas also, like mangroves. Okay, and these forest areas provide us with various resources like wood, food, building material, timber, and all that stuff. There are some other benefits of wetlands which are provided in your notes, but we are not going to discuss them in the lecture because they're very easy to understand. So I'm going to give some extra benefits of wetlands in your notes. Okay, and that's about it. That's all you need to know as far as the wetlands are concerned. Now let's move forward to second news item, which is again related to a wetland. And that wetland is Kolleru Wetland, also known as Kolleru Lake over here. Okay, the thing is, this region is Andhra Pradesh, coastal area of Andhra Pradesh. And in this coastal area of Andhra Pradesh, two rivers form deltas. Okay, these two rivers are Godavari and Krishna rivers. Okay, so these two rivers form deltas close to each other, and this entire region is this entire region is known as KG Basin. Okay, it is within this KG Basin that you find lake. It is one of the largest, like one of the, not the largest, but one of the large freshwater lakes in India. Okay, the largest freshwater lake in India is found in Jammu region, Jammu and Kashmir region, called the Wooler Lake or the Wooler Barrage. It was created artificially, basically, by damming a river. So Wooler Lake is the largest freshwater lake in India, but Kolleru Lake is one of the largest. Okay. Now, Why was this Kolleru Wetland in the news? So the Southern Zonal Bench of National Green Tribunal restrained the Andhra Pradesh government from proceeding with 6 infrastructure projects in Kolleru Wetland area. Okay, that's why this region was in the news, because NGT, National Green Tribunal, has prohibited Andhra Pradesh from proceeding with infrastructure projects in the region. Why? Because NGT feels that these infrastructure projects threaten the ecosystem of Kolleru Wetland. Clear? And as we have seen before, wetlands are very important. Clear? Now, about Kolleru Lake. So it is one of the largest freshwater lake, largest being Buller Lake. Okay. It was declared a Ramsar site in 2002. So Kolleru Lake is a wetland of international importance. Okay. It is also famous for Kolleru Bird Sanctuary. Many great birds are found here. Like you can see over here in the photo, these birds are called grey pelicans. Okay. These are found here. Now, this Kolleru Lake is also significant for one more thing. Okay. It has Kolleru Bird Sanctuary, and there are many migratory birds that visit this area. Okay. Migratory birds are those that migrate from far away places. Okay. Now, these migratory birds come from Central Asian flyway. This Central Asian flyway is the air route that many birds take that are coming from Siberia. Okay. They move from Siberia to the southern hemisphere. So they take a stop over at Kolleru Lake. That is why in some seasons, Kolleru Lake has many birds. Okay, many significant birds. By the way, this grey pelican is also an indicator species of this ecosystem, this wetland. What is an indicator species? Indicator species is that species which actually reveals the health of the entire ecosystem. If the entire ecosystem is deteriorating, you will see that the numbers of this species are also declining. Okay, so if you want to know the health of the ecosystem, you can just look at these species. That is why they are called indicator, because they indicate the health of the entire ecosystem. Grey pelicans are the indicator species. You have to remember this. Okay, grey pelicans are the indicator species for Kolleru Wetland and Kolleru Bird Sanctuary. Clear? Now, this is as far as Kolleru Wetland is concerned. But another institution was mentioned in this news item, and that was National Green Tribunal, right? So let's talk about National Green Tribunal. So National Green Tribunal is a special court established by National Green Tribunal Act of 2010. Now, this special court deals with cases related to environmental protection and conservation of forests and other natural resources. Okay. Now, this is not like a normal court, because the procedure in any normal court like High Court, District Court, Supreme Court are governed by Code of Civil Procedure 1908. Okay. But NGT is not bound by that. So NGT has to follow all the rules that are followed in all the other courts, normal courts. Okay. But NGT has to take care of the principles of natural justice. Okay. Principles of natural justice are basically some guidelines that every tribunal should follow. Now, National Green Tribunal has 5 sitting places. Okay. This tribunal sits at 5 places. New Delhi is the principal bench. Then it has 4 regional benches. Okay. Bhopal, Pune, Kolkata, and Chennai. Chennai is the southern bench. So this was given by Southern Zonal Bench of National Green Tribunal. Okay. Which sits in Chennai. Make sense? Now, composition of NGT. Well, it has a chairperson. It has to be a retired Supreme Court judge. It has some judicial members, which are retired High Court judges, and some non-judicial members, some experts of environment. Okay, with at least 15 years of experience in fields related to environment and forest conservation. Okay, now let's move forward to third news item, which is non-opioid painkillers. Look, in USA, there are more than 80,000 deaths related to drug overdose. Okay, and most of these drug addicts were not natural drug addicts, they were made drug addicts. What happened was, some of these people who became drug addicts eventually, they were hospitalized at one point of time. Okay, and because they were hospitalized, they were administered some painkillers. Now, those painkillers are opioid painkillers, and these opioid painkillers are highly addictive. So once their pain was over, their surgery was over, they were discharged from the hospital. Because they were addicted to these opioids, they started searching for drugs in the market because they became addicted. Okay. And eventually, these people who were not earlier drug addicts, but they were made drug addicts because of the hospitalization or the hospitalization. Okay. And they were made drug addicts because the medical system of USA failed them. Right. So these people died also. Surely the responsible falls on USA's medical system. That is why many people or many scientists were working on painkillers that are non-opioid and non-addictive. So prevent these drug overdose deaths. This sometimes is referred to as opioid crisis in USA. Okay. So US FDA, Food and Drug Administration, has approved suzetrigine. Okay, suzetrigine is a non-opioid painkiller. Clear? Now, what are opioids? These are drugs derived from mimicking substances in the opium poppy plant, opium fields. Okay, opium plant. Used for pain relief but highly addictive. Some of the examples of these opioid medicines are morphine, generally given as pain medication, oxycodone, and fentanyl. Okay. What are the benefits? What is the benefit of this discovery? Discovery of a non-opioid painkiller, suzetrigine. Well, unlike opioids, it is not addictive. So you will be administered this drug till you are hospitalized. Since you won't be addicted to this, you won't be a drug addict once you're discharged from a hospital. All right. Now, about suzetrigine. So, thing is that it targets pain signals at the source. Okay. The thing is that whenever you're hurt, physically you're hurt, basically you feel pain because the nerve endings where you get hurt communicate the signal to your brain, and your brain tells you that you're hurt, and the brain tells you through pain. What if there is a medicine that blocks this transmission of signal? So you will be hurt, but that signal won't get transmitted to your brain, so you won't feel pain. Okay, this is what suzetrigine does. It targets pain signals at source, preventing them from reaching the brain. It interrupts pain signal transmission through the spinal cord. So what happens is, let's suppose you're hurt in your hand. Let's suppose there is a some injury. Okay. Now, when you're injured, the nerve endings. Let's suppose you were injured in your hand. So the nerve endings from your hand transmit that signal to your spinal cord, and from your spinal cord it travels to your brain. Suzetrigine basically blocks that transmission in the spinal cord. So you don't perceive pain. Okay. Plus, this medicine is not addictive. Okay. And one more thing, the reason why people are addicted to opioids, because once you take these pain medications, you feel a sense of joy and euphoria also, right? That's why you are addicted to them. Well, suzetrigine doesn't give you that euphoria also. The benefit would be more than 82,000 overdose deaths related to opioids. Suzetrigine offers safe, non-addictive alternative. Very simple. And last, Man Portable Air Defense System, MANPADs. As you can see over here, this person can carry this instrument which can launch a missile and can destroy a low flying drone, flying aircraft. Okay. This would be very important for Indian armed forces because they can be carried on the shoulders of normal soldiers, right? And can be used for air defense. So this is a very significant development. So the Defense Research and Development Organization, DRDO, successfully conducted 3 flight trials of the indigenously developed very short range air defense system, VSHORADs. So the official name for this weapon is VSHORADs, very short range air defense system. But popularly all over the world, they are called MANPADs. Okay, Man Portable Air Defense System. Now about these MANPAD, so it is light shoulder fired missile. So you can carry it anywhere with yourself. Designed to target low altitude aerial threats like drones, helicopters, and aircraft. This was designed by DRDO's Research Center Imarat in Hyderabad. Significance is, first of all, Indian Army had MANPADs, but those MANPADs were imported. We used Russia's IGLA MANPAD system. Okay. Now this IGLA MANPAD system became very old. became ancient, we wanted to replace it. And what better way to replace imported weapons than by producing those weapons yourself? Okay, if DRDO didn't support in this cause, then India would have imported some other system to replace Russian Igla manpads. But then we would have been import dependent. We want our defense industry to be indigenous, okay? Because that gives us a strategic advantage. We don't want to depend on other countries for our defense. Clear? That is why the greatest significance of V-SHORADs is that it is indigenously developed and it is highly advanced. So it will replace the aging Russian Igla manpads and would really boost the capability of Indian armed forces, right? Now, other features of this V-SHORAD, well, its portability, it just weighs 20.5 kg, so any soldier can also carry it. Its range is also 250 meters to 6 kilometers. It has a good speed, it can carry a warhead, okay, a bomb, target engagement, operational flexibility. These are all benefits of V-SHORAD system. All right. And that would be all. With that, we conclude today's session. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. And I'm sure it has added value to your preparation. Okay? Please do not forget to revise this lecture because revision helps in remembering these current affairs for longer periods of time, at least till your exam. Okay? So please do not forget to revise it. On that note, I'll be signing off. Thank you so much, everyone.